Hi, my name is Rich, and I'm here today to speak to you about the Tersano iClean Mini. This is a device that sprays ozonated water on surfaces, which deeply cleans them as well as disinfects them completely. Um, this company, Tersano, started out with ozonated water with a product called the Lotus. Back in early 2000s. In fact, in 2006, that Lotus was one of Time Magazine's Invention of the Year. So what is ozonated water and what does this thing do? It has a reservoir in the bottom that you put cold tap water. Cold is important. Cold water ozonates easier than warm water, so you just get a better job using cold water. And as soon as you depress the trigger, it sprays out ozonated water. You can smell it. It smells like, after a rainstorm. I'm not going to go into all the science and proof behind the fact that it kills germs and kills COVID especially. This is the answer to people who have fear of touching things that have been affected with COVID or E. coli or anything else. There's been lots of different outbreaks over the years, so this product will protect you against that. I've put together this video. My review of the unit, I love it. I am absolutely in love with it. I've been using the Tersano original Lotus system. I got mine in about 2010. It's the same kind of thing, but different looking. I'll actually show that in one of my segments, and I'm going to do a comparison of how it cleaned a spot on the floor versus the Mini. So speaking of that, I've made a couple of segments that I'm going to splice together, showing how effective and suggestions, what works for me for cleaning ceramic floor. And excuse me for referring to the notes here, but what I do in bathrooms, especially with toilet, door jambs, showing it to clean countertop, stovetop, glass stovetop, the glass from a gas fireplace, and lastly, showing get stain out of carpet. I also have some kind of out-of-the-box suggestions and ideas that I've been using this ozonated system for years. I put together a list. I am going to actually type out the list in the notes below of all the different things that I put together that it does a great job on cleaning and disinfecting. I'm not going to go through the list right now because basically between the segments and so on, it counters it. So on the journey, and I'm going to start with the ceramic floor video, and that'll also show you kind of the history of the Tersano in the two different products. So this is the original Lotus system by Tersano, and it produces parts per million anywhere from 0.5 up to 1 part per million. And in this case, I can show the picture in the comments. Mine is calibrated, it flashes it momentarily, I think at 0.7. So I'm about halfway through that. I have an email from Tersano saying that they do their testing at 0.3, which is even outside of their zone of 0.5 to 1.0, which is where their machines are calibrated. So even at 0.3, it's killing everything quickly. So the stronger than that, even better. So I need to turn it on, and it'll make that noise for about 2.5 minutes until it gets that amount of water ozonated. It obviously ozonates a great deal of water, and it's perfect for mopping. But I wanted to compare that with the iClean Mini, which I just got. And if you didn't have this old system, which hasn't been around in about 10 years, would the iClean Mini still work? And I have the perfect test for that. So we'll get to that in a minute. So I had referenced the perfect comparison for the original Lotus system water, ozonated water, at anywhere from 0.5 to 1.0 part per million, and the Tersano iClean Mini, which is 1.0, where it starts and could be as high as 1.7. So, and again, my unit is, my old unit is calibrated at 0.7 something. So anyway, I'm going to do this nasty section here with the old Tersano water, and I'm going to do this one with the iClean Mini. I have the Tersano water in the spin bucket here, ready to go. This is a dry. I'm going to put it, try to dampen it as much with the spray as I can, as well as spray on there. The key about this water is that when it dries, there will be no staining of the grout. That is the incredible thing about using this water to mop. So I will be back to show what it looks like, each one, when they're done. So this part of the floor has been done with the Lotus, the old style water, in a spin mop. Only that water was used. I just put the mop in the water, got it soaked, spread that around, let it sit for a minute. I'd spun the mop dry and then just dried it with that same mop. So next is going to be this area, and I'm going to use the dry mop. I'm going to soak it as much as I can with the Tersano water after I spray the floor, and then try to see how that compares. So this is after being sprayed with the iClean Mini water, and then here's the little guilty culprit that made the stain, but now I'm going to try soaking the mop and then trying to clean it. So here it is after spraying the mop, and after letting it sit on the area and basically drying it with that mop. It really seemed like it was removing everything. So we'll see. We'll come back in a half hour or so or more once it's dried, because it should dry to the same color as the surrounding tile. So it's just after 6 p.m., 6:06, I think it said on my phone here, and I checked on the details for the video from earlier, was 4:57. So it's been just slightly over an hour, hour and 10 minutes. But as you can see, the original part that was done with the old system, the Lotus system, completely removed all the pus and is no staining whatsoever to the grout. Good news also for the iClean Mini, did a fabulous job, no staining to the grout at all, and was able to remove all those stains. So good news, and the takeaway, which is why I wanted to do this comparison, is although it might be slightly more of a pain with the iClean Mini, you know, versus having a lot of it that you can dump in a bucket, it will work, and it's very effective. As a spray and wipe especially, it would be extremely effective. There we go. Thank you. For using the iClean Mini to clean toilets, it's a no-brainer with its killing germs and bacteria so quickly. The only thing I do differently, instead of using microfiber, I tend to, after I spray, I wipe down with toilet paper and then just flush it. In this case, there's some nasty in the bowl. I'm going to spray the iClean on the brush and then go at that, and the spray will take care of the stuff on the lid. I'm not going to use the brush on that, but we'll show that. Okay, so here's the finished product. Quick, easy and clean. I wanted to share this short segment about cleaning like door jambs and that type of thing. This just becomes so typical and is easily cleaned. That junk in the corner there. With the iClean Mini ozonated water and one of these magic erasers. I buy these in bulk on eBay. I'll put the link below in the comments. I'll show a picture right after this video. You'll see how they come. I buy them 100. They come in a brick. You just, they're all separated and stuff. But anyway, what you do is you soak the microfiber with the ozonated water and then clean it from there. So we're just going to keep spraying this from each side. I want to pretty much saturate it. With the other system where you can generate, a whole several liters of it, I just soak it in it quickly. But once it starts to get spongy, that is good. And then we'll pause and go on to the next segment. The other thing I want to talk about is different qualities and kinds of microfiber. For the typical iClean, white spray and wipe, this is great. This is like a cheap one I got at Dollarama. You see I've got a little rip in it already. You can clean it out in the sink, like old-fashioned with soap, whatever. Wring it out really well and use it again and again and again. I like to follow up with a drying microfiber. You don't have to, that's optional, but in this door I'm not gonna, but on highly shiny surfaces it makes a huge difference, and we'll show that a bit later. But let's move into position and get going. So this was already, so we're just gonna put this in position so we don't spray that.
Then with this blue microfiber,
it's actually thinned out there. There's some kind of pink stain here. Let's see if improved it. There we go. The other thing, of course, and you don't need the microfiber, you don't need the eraser for that, is door handles. Huge depository for germs. And spray and wipe, and that is clean. So you can see that took about 5 minutes, and it is extremely, oops, sorry for kicking the can. It is extremely clean. All of the crevices, other than that pinky stain, which I'm not really going to worry about, but everything cleaned up what I think is remarkably well. Here's what the magic eraser looked like after getting used. I'm going to rinse this out under the tap and spray some more ozonated water, and good to go again. So we've got this marble, granite, whatever countertop here. If you catch the light, there we are. Stain there in the middle, and a tomato. So we are going to attend to that in a second. You don't need to use the magic eraser on this surface. certainly doesn't hurt it. And if it's more nasty, then it actually is helpful. Same thing when it's sopping wet, or pretty darn wet. And then you're going to follow it with this. Now, you can just leave it at this stage. One microfiber method, what I call. I prefer to come in with that drying towel. This is when you find out how deeply clean this really gets and how the surface just jumps. Actually, the longer that looks better in this, but so that's the 2 microfiber method. You're wiping, killing bugs to clean the surface with this one and drying it mostly, and then following up with a drying towel for appliances and your chrome and your glasses, all of those things. That second step is extremely worthwhile. Another great thing for the magic eraser soak with the Tersano water is your stovetop, the glass stovetop. The Samsungs are horrible. The glass scratches really easily, I find. Anyway, this does about as good a job as anything in getting off. If you have things, you'll feel the resistance. This actually might need some even more intensive, but this gets off 90 to 98% of what you're going to deal with, I would say. So first stop with that. There we go. So I wrung it out and shook out a few times. So go over it with that, and then your drying towel is almost just for buffing a beautiful shine. Okay. One incredible change that I realized with the Tersano water was with our gas fireplace glass. The house is 20 years old. This glass, if I had known the difference it was going to make, because I've cleaned this glass before. We've lived here 18 years. I've cleaned this glass multiple times. I've never got it perfect, never like brand new, ever. But what I did this time, I just laid it down on the kitchen table on top of a towel. I used 4-0 steel wool, just the stuff you get at a hardware store, and I soaked it with the Tersano water. I soaked the glass, let it sit maybe a minute, and I'm telling you, when this came in contact with that black soot shit, it liquefied it. It was unbelievable. It just came off like nothing. I followed it up with paper towel. My hands got disgustingly black. Like, this stuff was just nasty, but it cleaned it very, very well. And then for the win, I went in with a soaked microfiber, soaked magic eraser, and followed that up with the 2 microfiber method, the blue and this. And you can clearly see the results of this fireplace are dramatic. So I just want to talk quickly about using the iClean Mini to get stains out of carpet, like spot stains. Anytime you're trying to get stains out of carpet, obviously the fresher they are, the easier. Old stains, especially if they've been treated with something else, are more difficult. So if you're lucky, get a fresh stain. This is a coffee stain here, so you do it differently. Normally it's spray and wipe, right? Well, this you want to saturate because you are eventually going to suck the water up. I use an old towel. White is nice because it actually shows you the stain that you're absorbing. But the thing is, you want to get this soaking wet so that the stain gets drawn up into the towel. Okay, so I've shot, you can see it's moist. It already looks like it's breaking up. I'm going to agitate it a little bit with my finger. If this was some biological matter, obviously you wouldn't be using your finger. And then again with the towel, you can see here the dirt that's pulling out. Stain is gone. So the final video segment is going to be basically talking about the last things on the list here. One of the big things, and this was featured even back in the original Lotus system, was this is a very, very effective tool to protect your fruits and vegetables and your produce, the things that you put in your mouth, from having been infected by someone with dirty hands. We all know there's been many E. coli and other outbreaks over the years. If you spray the fruits and vegetables with the iClean Mini, it will kill on contact those germs, bacteria, etc. The other interesting thing, actually you'll find your fruit, your apples and so on, oranges especially, they will last longer because the bacteria that eats away at the outside of it and helps speed along the aging process and going bad is slowed down because that bacteria gets killed. So you will find your fruit actually lasts longer, which is kind of cool. So again, what you would do, simply, let's say you bring home a dozen apples, lay them out on dish towel, paper towel, whatever, doesn't matter. Just spray them and then wipe them off with another towel, you're good to go. Okay, that is it. So on to other things. Now we get into outside the box kind of thinking. So once you accept the fact that this water, this ozonated water, can't hurt you, it's not toxic in any way, shape, or form. In fact, you can drink it. They don't recommend it, but there's nothing harmful in doing so. Then you get into opening your mind to other possibilities. Wound healing. Let's see, you got a cut on your finger. Spray the iClean Mini on it before you put a Band-Aid or whatever. That's going to kill any germs and bacteria with ozonated water. It still might sting a bit, but whatever. It's a good, safe alternative way to do that. The other thing is to look at different mouth sores, gingivitis, mouth sores, canker sores, those types of things that are, bacteria driven or whatever. If you rinse your mouth out with this water, it will instantly, kill all that stuff and spit it out and so on. With the old system, my daughter's been using that. She was getting cold sores and rinsed the mouth out and gone. Very effective. Next on the list, acne remover. My 13-year-old, whenever she would feel an outbreak, she would wash her face and then she would put her face in the bowl of Tersano water and just soak it. And the next day she said that the outbreak was gone. It had killed it, dried it up, gone away. Since this doesn't have a bowl with the iClean Mini, what I would suggest is spray your face with it. And prior to that, soak a washcloth with it and then just hold that against your face, for a few seconds, 15, whatever. Long enough to make sure it gets into your pores and whatever. I myself use it not daily, but a couple times a week in the shower. I use it to rinse out my hair and to rinse off my face. So after I've shampooed and rinsed, I'll aggressively brush it out and saturate the hair, saturate my face, leave it. I don't have the shower water on me anymore, and then just towel dry when I get off. My hair feels cleaner when I do that. I think the oxygen molecule, it really helps rinse the hair out thoroughly. But anyway, these are things that have worked for me, and I'm sharing them. And if they work for you, that's great. Other things, body funguses like foot fungus. I've luckily not suffered from that, but I would think logically that would be a no-brainer for this fungus, right? So I would spray my foot with it, and again with a washcloth or something, and keep it in contact. You know, I got cut off there somehow with at the end of talking about the foot fungus. And spraying your foot and spraying washcloth and leaving it in contact. So that would be my suggestion for that. So thank you for joining me on this video. I tried to make it as informative as possible, showing with the microfibers, a magic eraser, different methods. This thing has worked for me. I love it. So I hope it works great for you. And if you have uses that I haven't touched on, drop them in the comments. I'd love to see. So thank you, and take care.